Holy shit. This is live. We have so much to talk about. The FBI. Can you guys believe it? The FBI violating their own policy. I mean, I can believe it. I don't want to say I told you guys, but I think I told you guys. Let's go settle up. Hello and welcome to Truth and Transparency. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Transparency. Welcome to Truth and Transparency. Not sure if this is working, but
today is not a day to celebrate. But the arrest of Richard M. Allen of Delphi.
take care, Miss Vargas. See you soon, Miss Vargas.
Paparazzi, stop.
Now tuned into the
Welcome to the Transparency. Ann Taylor dropping some documents. I figured she dropped them on Friday. For whatever reason, I think Chief Fry's wife couldn't get around to uploading them until today. I think maybe she wanted Karen Reed's case to maybe take some of the boom factor away. But again, you guys are here for it. I'm here for it. Obviously, we thought that Ann Taylor would have a problem with number one. We're going to talk about these documents. And the first document that we're going to talk about, just to get it out of the way, is we got ourselves a hearing. So there has been a hearing set. It's to discuss on May 2nd at 10 a.m. At the Latah County Courtroom 5. The address is 522 South Adams, Moscow, Idaho. Courtroom 3. It'll also be live streamed on Judge's YouTube channel. And this is to decide whether or not we get to hear the compel motion to compel this discovery. So 10 o'clock, 10 a.m., join me. We have a date. Next up, we're going to zoom in. Here we go. At 11:57 a.m., these were electronically filed. And this is a motion to unseal parts of the IGG material, you guys. This material, well, I'm just going to let the papers that talk for themselves. Here it is. Comes now Brian C. Kohlberger, Brian through his attorneys of record, and hereby moves this court to unseal the IGG materials sealed by this court's order signed on 12/29/2023, except for the individuals on the family tree or found via the IGG, on the grounds that this information should be made public and does not meet the requirements for sealing under ICAR 32. Now, this court previously entered an order allowing members of the defense team, including specific experts, access to review the IGG materials it ordered disclosed. The court has indicated during hearings its concern was the privacy of individuals on the family tree. The defense shares and still shares that concern and takes no issue with it. So, hey, we're cool. You don't got to talk about anybody that's on the family tree. That's people's privacy. But this is what we're not cool with. This is what you have no grounds to seal, and this is it. The defense does object, though, to the sealing of the rest of the information that has been disclosed. There is simply no legitimate reason that the way the IGG procedures in this case took place should be shielded from the public. This court provided no authority for sealing those materials. Most materials have been sealed in this case to protect the right to a fair trial. There is simply nothing unfairly prejudicial about the way in which IGG was carried about the state and its associates in this case. In point of fact, the way in which IGG occurred in this case has been made public in other cases. And then it cites State versus Hartman. Now check this out. Then Ann Taylor and co go as far as to say aspects of the IGG investigation in this case, yes, in this case, have already been leaked. We didn't believe it. You guys go check this out. Heather Murphy, how police actually cracked the Idaho killings case. And again, it's available at, go ahead and check it out. You guys can just click on that link if you would like. I think if you actually go to like the actual document. Now, Ann Taylor says that the state is abusing its privilege. What are you talking about, Anna? We'll check this out. This court's order is being abused by the state and the FBI to hide how IGG was used in this case, because what the FBI did violated its own rules and the rights of privacy genetic genealogy companies have promised. Woohoo! Woohoo! You guys remember that old, like, you got to pay $500 or $700 and you're going to get a receipt of when you show that you entered in a law enforcement kit. You guys remember when I think Ms. Vargas was talking about it and other people were talking about it. But there's anywhere between, like, if it's $500 or $700 that you have to pay. And what you do is you're uploading the kit, and it's then known as a law enforcement kit. And therefore it is away from anything that anybody, you, me, if we use those sites, if we opted out of being able to be used, so we're out of the program to be like, hey, for government use, you'd have a receipt for that, remember? And it's like, well, you wouldn't just, like, the FBI just wouldn't keep uploading. If you're going to pay that $500, $700. But guess what the FBI didn't do? They didn't do it that way. They used the loophole. Why? Well, because that's the integrity of the FBI. They don't give a fuck. Or are they good people? You guys can be the deciding factor on all that. We'll let the jury decide. But this is all about integrity. If you're going to cut corners, if you're going to do it like this, if you're going to do that, where else would you do it? What's the integrity of your investigation? That's what we're talking about. And so what they did right here is they purposefully did not upload Brian Kohlberger's kit as a law enforcement kit. They purposely did that. They violated their own fucking policy. Welcome to the Wild Wild West. Now, again, this won't be a long live. I'm not here for a long time tonight, but I am here for a good time. Make sure you guys make yourselves known at some point, like the video, or thumbs it down. You're going to have an opinion, make yourself known, share the video. I decided to go live with this last minute. So, again, not only is there no authority to protect the FBI and the state in this manner, this refusal to permit Mr. Kohlberger to expose this to the public is a clear violation of his right to a public trial. Wow. 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 Again, setting a case there. Now, Ann Taylor said, hey, this won't take that long. A hearing on this matter is requested if necessary, but basically, We just want you to unseal it so we can all see what the hell's been going on. So next up. So she just took care of the FBI in a matter of a page and a half. Right. Now, next up, Ann Taylor has a problem with, wait, why are we sealing off a compel motion? Why should this be closed doors? Well, because it's the Idaho4 case. That's why. No. Here it is. Again, this is the objection to the state's motion to close the hearings pursuant to ICAR 32G and proposed scheduling order. Now, not only did Ann Taylor have a problem with this, she does not want the doors closed. She wants this to be open to the public. Okay. She has a problem with scheduling. And she says that at the end of this. So again, I'm going to keep this nice and brief here. When I read through this, then I have one more document to show you guys. And then I'm going to ask for your comments in the comment section of the video. And then after I get your guys' comment from the comment section of the video, when I do my bigger live tomorrow night, where we're talking about 9mm or knives, and we're going to be talking about this as well, I'm going to take your guys' comments from the comment section and include those in my show for tomorrow night. So here we go. Comes now Brian C. Kohlberger by and through his attorneys of record and hereby objects to the state's motion to close the hearing to compel on May 14th, 2024. Again, this has nothing to do with the hearing that's going to be on May 2nd, this Thursday, because we're going to have a hearing about a hearing. You guys heard that right. We're going to have a hearing about the hearing. You guys remember that? What was it? Office? The Office? What was that? What was that show? We're going to have a meeting about the meeting. Yeah, that's it. So here we go. We're having a hearing about the hearing. Now, the grounds are that Mr. Kohlberger has a constitutional right to a fair and public trial. Okay. No reason exists to prevent him from a public pretrial proceeding. A proceeding to ensure fairness and access to the state's information. Further, the state has made no showing that the hearing should be closed under Idaho. I think that's spelled wrong. I think they forgot a letter there. So there is simply no legitimate reason that a motion to compel discovery should be sealed from the public. You guys, this is a motion that's saying, wait, you guys want to seal a pre-trial compel discovery? Like, excuse me? Okay. We have to have a hearing about the hearing, though. It's Idaho4, man. So, again, there is simply no legitimate reason that a motion to compel discovery should be shielded from the public. The process of sealing is being abused by the state. So we're seeing the word abused everywhere. Ann Taylor was just loving that word so much that she put it on all of her documents. You abusive bastards. Only if Ann Taylor had a Boston accent, you know. Now, the process of sealing is being abused by the state and its law enforcement agents, right there, including the motherfucking FBI. Including the FBI. The FBI and its agents, the law enforcement agents, the state, we all want to hide how discovery is being withheld in this case. So now they want to hide how they're hiding stuff. So we have to have a hearing for a hearing. Now we have to hide how we're hiding things. You guys, I don't know about you guys, but I'm just so confused. We need hearings for hearings, and we need to hide the hiding. You can't, Miss Kelly, you cannot make this shit up. Now, Again, including the FBI to hide how discovery is being withheld in this case. Testimony and argument on information sought by Mr. Kohlberger does not meet the narrow scope of what the state can shield from public view. So she's saying the rule, the ICAR 32G that you're talking about, no. We're talking about a very, very small window and narrow. And for what you guys want to do, I'm sorry, you can't and you won't be able to because it doesn't meet the criteria. Not only is there no authority to protect the FBI, because that's what the state's trying to do here, protect the FBI with this. So not only is there no authority to protect the FBI, other law enforcement agents, and the state in this matter, this request is simply to deny Mr. Kohlberger an open hearing is a clear violation of his right to a public trial. So you don't owe anything to anybody, especially not the FBI. But by you trying to do this for anybody, you're going to do it at the expense of violating Mr. Kohlberger's rights. Like, again, we got to keep saying this. Do you guys want to have another trial? You know, does Delphi want to have another trial? Does Karen Reed's case, do you guys want to have all these other trials? We're taxpayers. Aren't we getting like a little bit pissed, like how this money is being spent? Okay. I'm kind of pissed, and I don't live in any of these places, but this could happen where I live, and I'm not too happy about this. And yeah. So not only is there no authority to protect the FBI, other law enforcement agents, and the state in this matter, this request to deny Mr. Kohlberger an open hearing is a clear violation of his right to a public trial. And then she's citing the Weaver versus Massachusetts case there. Now, the state has failed to provide all the requested items that were asked for in the defense's supplemental requests for discovery to support the charge against Mr. Kohlberger. Thus, the defense has had to file its 4th and 5th motions to compel. You guys, like I told you, they're on their 15th motion, the supplemental motion for discovery request, and their 5th now motion to compel. So it is not lost on Mr. Kohlberger that the state is asking for a scheduling order to obtain information from the defense to be used in support of our motions to compel the state's discovery. I'm going to talk about that tomorrow. However, Mr. Kohlberger suggests a dual deadline for both the prosecution and the defense to file a notice of witnesses, exhibits, expert reports. Basically, no, we're not going to give you all this information ahead of time. We're going to do stuff. We want the same deadlines for stuff that have to do with this because we see what you're trying to do here, and we're not going to play like that. So we want dual deadlines. Okay. Now, however, Mr. Kohlberger suggests dual deadlines for both the prosecution and defense to file notice of witnesses, exhibits, expert reports, or other evidence relied upon at the 4th and 5th motions to compel by May 7th, 2024. Response disclosures by both parties should be due May 10th. So 7th, and then you have your time to respond to whatever it is that they file, and have that in by the 10th. So boom, 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 boom. Now, then one of the other motions that was dropped here was right here. Ta-da! Santa's pissed. Rightfully so. He worked so damn hard all year to give us all these gifts, and all I got him was a mug. I'd be pissed too. But Santa's pissed. Let's talk about it. Santa wants Brian Kohlberger not to be able to provide an alibi defense. So this was the response to notice of defendant's supplemental response to state's alibi demand. Okay. So Now comes the state of Idaho. By and through the Latah County prosecuting attorney and submit the following initial response to the notice of defendant's supplemental response to state's alibi demand. At the outset, the state incorporates by references as it's fully set forth here at this point, those portions of the state's July 27, 2023 motion to compel notice of defense of alibi, or alternatively to bar certain evidence. So this is what's happening. Santa Claus, Bill Thompson, backseat Bill here, he wants to bar Brian from being able to have witnesses testify on his behalf with his alibi, except for himself. You guys are going to see it here at the end. Because it's been, wait till you hear him talk about it. It's been all these months and Brian Colbert has not gotten his alibi in. And so therefore you're not going to be able to go with this defense unless you're going to testify. That's the only ways it's happening. Now, the state respectfully submits that the defendant's supplemental alibi response continues to lack the specificity required by Idaho Code 19-519, which provides that the defense shall state the specific place or places at which the defendant claims to have been at the time of the alleged offense, and the names and addresses of these witnesses upon whom he intends to rely to establish such alibis. Okay. Now, I don't know if Bill Thompson got it or not, but we're going with a modern day alibi. And a modern day alibi is one that is not coughed up by 19-year-olds in a circle jerk. Is actually coughed up by technology and saying that you're somewhere else via because I'm with my phone and my phone is somewhere else. And that's how we're going to be going about this. But I'm using an expert witness as my alibi because it's 2024. So, but Bill Thompson and co, he wants a 1984 alibi where he wants witnesses' names, numbers, addresses, and he wants to be able to talk to them. Fair enough. Well, I guess he just needs to call up Psy. Just call him up. I think Ann Taylor provided his name. She probably just didn't want to put his address down so that everybody wasn't calling him, sending him gifts. Now, the defendant's April 17, 2024 submission minimally adds to the alibi notice date July 24, 2023. The defendant states that he was driving around during the early morning hours of November 13, 2022 and drove, in quotes, throughout the area south of Pullman, Washington, west of Moscow, Idaho, including Wawawi Park, with the exception of the reference to Wawawi Park, which is new. The defendant is offering nothing new to his initial alibi. I'm sorry, I have to laugh at this. I don't remember Cy Ray's name ever coming out before this latest April date. So can you guys please point that to me where Cy Ray was ever mentioned in the July 2023 alibi? Okay, so the new part is only the park. Make it make sense, y'all. But according to Bill Thompson, the only thing that's new is that Brian Colbert is now talking about a park. Okay. So I about fell over as I was drinking this water. You guys, what the fuck? What the fuck? I mean, JLR thought that Cy Ray was bringing in a damn air conditioning unit. My God. Okay, so the only thing that is new is the park, but nothing about Cy is in here. The defendant is offering nothing new to his initial alibi. You guys understand that? The defendant is offering nothing new to his initial alibi that he was simply driving around during the morning hours of November 13th, 2022, as the state noted during the August 2023 hearing. The state is aware that the defendant was driving around rural areas of Whitman County, Washington and Latah County, Idaho, during the early morning hours of November 13th, 2022. Hello, guys. We are aware of this. We wrote it in our damn PCA. Well, then Bill Thompson messes up and he says, wait till you see this. He says, you guys, we've known this. Duh. In fact, the defendant's travels during that time are described in the original. How many PCAs are there, man? In the original PCA. Well, I just want to know how many PCAs are there. You guys, because I think there's a shit ton. But thank you so much, Bill, because I wanted to point this out to everybody. In the original PCA. So how many PCAs are there? The original probable cause affidavit supporting the criminal complaint in this case. Again, how many PCAs are there, Bill? Now, as to the defendant's reference to potential testimony about the location of defendant's cell phone on the morning of November 13th, 2022. Oh, his alibi. His expert witness testimony alibi that you just totally left off. We're going to get to that now. Okay, here I'm ready. As to the defendant's reference to potential testimony, potential. You know what potential is? Potential to me, it was told to me when I was at a young age. When someone says that you have potential, that means you ain't shit now. Okay? So always remember when somebody ever says, hey man, you got potential. Well, they're really saying that you ain't shit now. Okay? Just remember that. As the defendant's reference to potential testimony, I didn't realize, I just had about location of defendant's cell phone on the morning of November 13, 2022. This information does not rise to the level of an alibi at the time of the homicides, you guys, but listen, there's a big because. Okay, because this is what we learn in English class. These fucking keywords here, because and or. Because the defendant's cell phone stopped reporting to the cellular network before the homicides and not or, but and continued to not report until after the homicides. Now, this is where I'm going to tell you guys a little something about Idaho. Okay. In the case of Dr. Drake's murder, they have the time of the crime wrong. Okay. It's 100% not 7:26 p.m. that man was shot and killed. All right. But all of the evidence that they used in that case to try to go after Dr. Dan Moore is surrounding that littlest of window of 7:26 p.m. When in fact, the time of the crime was somewhere between 6:43 p.m. and 7:05, the latest. Okay, 6:42 p.m. and more like 6:55, but we're gonna go ahead and just say 7:05 just to be kind. So this next sentence matters. Okay, this next sentence is everything. Now, right here, they are stuck on the fact that this crime happened between, look at the location of defendant's cell phone at times other than the time of the homicides is not proof of or relevant to the defendant's specific location at the time of the homicides. Approximately 4 to 4:30 a.m. Now the time of the homicide is it's 4 to 4:30 a.m. Okay. And so, what would happen though if the crime wasn't at 4 or 4:05 or 4:10, 4:15, 4:20, 4:25, 4:30? Then I think it would be very relevant where the hell this man was before that time, during that time, after that time, especially if like that's just your narrative. Your narrative is that that's when the time of the crime is. Well, I've seen Idaho know damn well that Dr. Drake was not murdered at 7:26, okay? And they left it there when there was legit eyewitness proof and surveillance cameras together to prove that Dr. Drake was not killed at 7:26 p.m. So I've said all along, if you move the time of this crime up or even down, how are you pinning this on Brian Koberger? Because they're married to the fact that the person in the white car is the killer. You have to put Brian Koberger in the white car. But then if you can move this time of the crime at all, either way, then you're really royally fucked. Okay, I've always said that about this case. And then ever since I found out that Idaho loves to fuck with the time of the crimes because it has to fit their narrative, and they will do anything. They will bury videos. They will fucking know that a witness is lying to them in an interview and just never go back and interview them. Say that again, Lana? Yep, you heard me the first time. So this really frustrates me, this part frustrates me. Because this is this is all about this time of the crime. Well, how do we know that the time of the crime was truly between 4:04 and 4:17? We fucking don't. That's your theory. There's going to be nobody is going to testify to saying that that's when that crime happened. What I mean by that is scientifically, no person do I believe is going to be able to say on the stand that happened in that type of a window. They're going to give a window like this happened between 3 and 6 a.m. This happened between 2 and 6 a.m. But there is nobody that's going to get on that stand and testify and say that this happened between 4:04 and 4:17 a.m. Nobody. No ME is going to be testifying to that. Now, again, as to the defendant's reference to potential testimony about the location of defendant's cell phone on the morning of November 13, 2022, this information does not rise to the level of an alibi at the time of the homicides because the defendant's cell phone stopped. So this is Bill Thompson now doubling down on the fact that Brian's phone is no longer reporting to the towers. Well, I'm under the impression that Brian Koberger is 100% reporting to towers, but just not the towers that you think. That's my interpretation of the alibi. Okay? Just so we understand that. This information does not rise to the level of an alibi of the time of the homicides because the defendant's cell phone stopped reporting to the Southern Network before the homicides and continued to not report until after the homicides. Before, keyword, after. The location of defendant's cell phone at times other than the time of the homicides is not proof of or relevant to the defendant's specific location at the time of the homicides. And then they say approximately, and then this is my answer to that. My answer is time of the homicides. Time of the homicides. You move the time of the homicides in just the slightest. Now, it is the state's position that the defendant's continued failure to adequately comply with Idaho code does not trigger a response under Idaho Code 1915-19-2. If the court deems the defendant's supplemental response to be in compliance with the requirements of Idaho Code, the state requests additional time pursuant to Idaho Code to prepare a list of witnesses to establish the defendant's presence at the scene of the homicides. Now, this is when I said, holy shit. Do you guys know what he's saying right there? I think Angie just wants, I don't know if you're not from these parts because I don't think I've seen her name. Angie. Okay. You think if you can hear that sound, you know that I can hear that sound, right? And if you think that I enjoy that sound, you've completely lost your fucking mind. So I think everybody knows in here, and if you don't and you're new and you just want me to say hi to you, that sound is your best friend, not mine. Because these booms are way louder than that little chirp. Again, welcome. Now, explain to me who is going to be on Bill Thompson's fucking list. And he would need extra time to get this list together on who can place Brian Kohlberger at the scene during the fucking homicides. Because what's crazy is the same thing that he's about to write in these next couple of sentences just blow my tits away. Okay? You don't understand. Let me just show you. As to witnesses to rebut a claim of alibi, the defendant's failure to adequately comply with the Idaho law means the state does not know what specific assertions it needs to rebut. You're telling me, Bill, if you have people that place Brian Kohlberger at the fucking scene of the homicides at that time, and you don't even know that yet. Like, I'm super confused here. How these people wouldn't already be like known about, and that you need more time to get these names. What the is this for real? Is this for real? Who don't you? Bill Thompson has a list that he can give the whole world, give to the parents to say, hey, these people know that Brian Kohlberger was at this house during the time of the murders. And you didn't think to put them in any PCA? I'm fucking I need a grape. I'm gonna ask Bill Thompson if I can infuse my grapes. You guys know I got a call from Moscow today, right? Shit, you not. You guys, what the fuck is going on? I have to read this. I have to read this for you guys again. The state requests additional time pursuant to Idaho code to prepare a list of witnesses to establish the defendant's presence at the scene of the homicides. At the scene of the homicides, like you just mean like there at some point or during the murder? Moscow called me and wanted to know if I was conducting a survey. I said, a survey for what? For Tinder? You guys, I'm so confused. I'm conducting a survey. I want to know if anybody in Moscow is hot or not. Hotornot.com. Yeah. Let me see what time it was that I got this call out. I was working on the Karen Reed case. And the phone rang. And it was at 1:23 p.m. You guys, Where is Bill Thompson coming up with this shit? I have no idea. I have not a clue, but this is news to us. So here we go. Again, Bill Thompson's gonna need some time to prepare a list of witnesses to establish the defendant's presence at the scene of the homicides. Okay. Then we have, it has now been approximately 11 months since the state filed its request for discovery disclosure alibi demand. Well, that can go for you too, Bill. It's been 11 months. You need more time to get this list together on who saw. You have witnesses that put Brian Kohlberger there, but these people didn't see Brian Kohlberger kill anybody. I'm so confused here. Why isn't this guy taking a plea deal if you got fucking eyewitnesses, Bill? The defendant has been given more time than he is legally entitled in order to provide his alibi. The state is substantially prejudiced and compromised in its ability to investigate and respond to new or additional alibi-related disclosures. Oh my God. You guys, Brian Kohlberger has been asking for the discovery, his data, so that I need all this discovery to give to my expert so he can go do his job. And now he's gotten just a little bit of it and he went out and did his job, right? Then now Bill's like, we needed this to stop because we are being prejudiced. What? Yeah, that's what he's saying. Then he's going on to say that as the Idaho Court of Appeals noted in State versus Juarez, the state has legitimate interest in obtaining timely and complete discovery response from the defendant. Imagine that. When you don't get something in full, you get pissed, Santa. I'm pissed too. But I'd rather be pissed off than pissed on, you know? You guys, right here, based on the above, the state respectfully requests that the court enter an order denying Brian Kohlberger, the defendant, any further opportunity to add to any purported claim of alibi and preclude testimony by anyone other than the defendant himself as to the defendant's absence from or presence at the scene. Oh my God. Now, this just about sent me over the edge with my water here. You guys, Bill Thompson has witnesses. They're going to place Brian Kohlberger at the scene. We are just now hearing about this. He is full of more motherfucking shit than, I don't even know who's got a lot of shit in him. I think he's full of more shit than the Karen Reed people. You know, what's his name? Lally? That prosecutor, I think he's full of a lot of shit. Him and Lally, does Lally play in a band too? They could play guitar together or some shit because this is wild. But yeah. Unless you guys read this some other way, unless this is in a different language somewhere. But the state is aware that the defendant was driving around rural areas of Whitman County. And we're the ones that told you guys that in the PCA. In the original PCA, because there's a lot of them out there. Okay. There's a lot of PCAs out there, but in the original one, we told you all that. We told you he was driving around. Like, I'm going to see who signed this. Who signed this one? Just making sure. So you guys can see it's William W. Thompson. There's probably about like 30 PCAs out there. Anyways, just when you guys thought Idaho cannot get any whack, I guess the same shit that got Brian Kohlberger arrested is not good enough to give him an alibi. That's hypocritical for me. So I have no idea how you can arrest somebody on cell towers and then in the same breath say that, oh, but that expert who actually is like an expert in the field, he can't testify to that. And that doesn't mean anything because that's before the homicides and after the homicides. Well, how about this? Do you guys ever know what time, distance, any of that math? Did he even take any of the math courses to understand that if the killings are here and somebody's way over here, even if somebody's phone was off, how long it takes to get from this point to that point? Okay. And let's just hypothetically, for easy math purposes, say that it's 45 minutes. Okay. Okay. 45, make it bigger. So he has to make it from this point to this point, 45 minutes, then do the killing, then make it back over to wait, what point to be peeing on something? Huh, interesting. Yeah, right. Okay, sounds great. Just Brian's teleporting all over. So I don't know. I want to know how much Ann Taylor laughed at this. I hope they're doing a documentary where she's like on camera reading this when this would be gotten filed. Just like, what the fuck? But do you guys see how easily like you could just make a motion or write a motion up and just make it whatever you want? And it's like, well, does Judge read these? Because does he not realize that an expert witness is Brian's alibi? It's modern technology alibi. Like I said, not some 19-year-old drunk, pissed college kid like, yeah, that guy was with me. We were getting stoned out there. I don't know. All right, guys. We're going to round this one out. Want to go and end on this note, though. Ann Taylor calling out the FBI. Boom. She lit that fuse. The FBI. Not only is there no authority to protect the FBI, other law enforcement agents, and the state in this matter, this request to deny Mr. Colbert an open hearing is a clear violation of his right to a public trial. She wants everything unsealed. Everything. Thank you, those of you guys that have super chatted, became members. Doris Miller, Selena's, Black Stump, what a name. Margaret, what is up? The 17% WG1WGA, great work. 17%ers out there. Deborah, 1999. Lana, there is just absolutely no way of stopping you from exposing everything about everyone every time. You're damn right. Holly, what's good? Holly Berry says, Lana, thank God you're on this case. You will find out these huge secrets. Yeah. I'm not going to stop until we do, but I don't think these are huge secrets. I think these are just, this is some messed up police work, FBI wise, state wise, local law enforcement wise. Also, Ann Taylor does want some new her investigative team to be able to view some IGG material that it was denied. So I think that's up back to be talked about. Program or buying somebody a membership there. Thank you so much for that. Christy, Nevada K, member for 4 months. Almost on our way to have a baby. Lana Brain loving it here. Thank you so much for loving it here. I kind of like it too. Oh, second baby is baking in the oven. Holly, isn't it? Hell yeah, girl. So BT wants more time to find witnesses, but BK only gets himself. What law is that? It's the Bill Thompson law. Bill Thompson's here. He's here. I want this all to come out in the open, you know. But they're going to have a hearing about a hearing. and I'm here for it. You know, I don't even know what to say. Kangaroo court, or is it simply just a circus? I don't know. You know, we're looking at cell towers, data, phone data, cell towers, and we're looking at touch DNA. And what else are we looking at in this case? I don't believe we have any eyewitnesses. If we did, I think we would know by now. The PCA mentions a girl that is in a frozen shock state who sees a guy in a mask, is it like a surgical mask? Is it like a whole like ski mask? Bushy eyes that's a preference. Are my eyebrows bushy or not? I mean, come on now. Every guy I feel like has bushy brows. But but when you start peeling back, you got surveillance cameras. Everything's modern technology, but Brian Kohlberger doesn't get to use it. You know, you got you don't got eyewitnesses. You got surveillance cameras, ring cameras, touch DNA, and then cell towers, phone data. That's what we're looking at with this case. But when you start pulling it back and you start taking stuff away, and then you realize, wait a second, the FBI totally violated their own policy and violated our rights of privacy. If any of us were like with those third parties, if they're willing to do that, I think it's going to go to like, how far are they willing to go to, I guess you could say, cut corners. And I don't think it's just the FBI, but how the integrity of the case is lost. And I'm telling you, if I'm the parents, I'm really fucking pissed. Okay. And I'm pissed off at the people the people that are running this investigation, the people that are, you told us to be patient. This stuff takes time. No, what I see here is that you guys didn't take your time. You guys fucked it up. We didn't fuck up shit. Y'all fucked shit up. And I got fat fucking Willie telling me to be patient. This shit takes time at the second presser. You guys see how many agents are involved in this. Well, this is not a cold case, blah, blah, blah. And then here y'all are the ones that are cutting the fucking corners and doing, shitty ass, shoddy police work. I'd be pretty pissed about that. And I'd be making myself known about that. And I would be directing my anger to the right people. And I hope that we start to see that. But Brian Kohlberger was not stalking anybody. I think the evidence is going to come out that going over or by their house, or if they have Wi-Fi, you guys know when you guys have friends that come over to your house, right? I have friends that come over to my house all the time and they say, Lana, what's your Wi-Fi password? I want to get on your Wi-Fi. Do you know that you even have opportunities to get on people's Wi-Fi even without them asking, because your phone, the way that your phones operate? I want to know if that information is available. I want to know if the information is available in someone's router, because I never saw any, like, was that router taken in? Was Brian Kohlberger's phone ever communicating with 1122 King Road's router? There's just a lot of things. And I just know that technology is not, Brian Kohlberger can't use it, but we can use all the technology in the world against him. That doesn't make any sense to me. So I can see my neighbor's Wi-Fi connection. Yeah, sometimes your neighbors have their Wi-Fi, it's not blocked, or it's not like there's no password protected. I'm not sure how the house had any of it, but I just know that there's a lot of things that you can do with these phones nowadays. And I'm looking forward to Anne's response on the Alibi. So All right, guys, make yourself known in the comment section of this video because tomorrow we're going to go in more depth about it. Again, these just dropped. You guys can go check them out and by yourselves, read them in the bathroom, whatever it is that you guys do. But use the comment section, come with some good questions. I'm going to use those and talk about those tomorrow when we talk about, you guys, were these kids armed with 9mm or knives, 9 lives, were they cats? What was going on in Idaho right after the first person that realized that there's blood everywhere? I mean, did anybody see the blood? Like, who's unconscious? No, how about all the blood everywhere? And then what is this ex-FBI guy talking about, that basically telling us that this crime scene's been compromised because they weren't law enforcement, okay? And that they went and probably armed themselves. Armed themselves with what? With knives? So you're going to sit here and tell me that all these people had knives on them? And then law enforcement comes, oh, hey, guys, yeah, no, we thought the killer was still in here, so we all went and grabbed a bunch of knives. And then we were walking around the house with knives, and we're trampling through. And what's he talking about? Moving sheets or bodies? Or wait, what? You guys, who did this man get his information from? Maybe we got a little leaky. And Lana's going to expose it tomorrow night. So come back and join me. But if I hear in the opening statements that there are a shit ton of knives all over that house are laying out because these kids armed themselves with knives because they thought the killer was still in the house, okay, then when did Dylan realize that she saw the killer leave at 4:00 and just walk past her? When did that become a thing? You guys, this is wild. It's getting wilder by the day, by the week. I'm here for it. Join me. We'll see everybody next night, tomorrow night.